Arrabbiata! You weren't rolling, were you?
No, I absolutely was rolling on that.
Arrabbiata means angry in Italian, and that refers to the spiciness of this dish. This is a Roman pasta sauce. It's traditionally made with whole chilies, either fresh or dried, but I'm going to use crushed red pepper flakes as kind of a shortcut, and because everyone has them in their pantry. So it comes together really fast, 20 minutes. If it takes you 30 minutes, you're probably doing it wrong. Hi, I'm Rhoda from MadeIN, and today I'm going to show you how to make pasta arrabbiata. The first thing I'm going to do is get my tomatoes ready. So I have whole peeled canned tomatoes. I'm just going to break them up with my hands. You can use a food processor or a blender to do this, but I kind of like doing it myself. Really, I'm just going to get the stems broken up because those can be kind of hard to bite into. I'm going to leave them a little bit rustic because that's the texture that I want. I'm just going to kind of leave them like this. I'll break them up a little bit more in the pan, but it's really just kind of getting them into a uniform size and breaking up all the big pieces. Now the tomatoes are ready to go. I'm going to take 2 large cloves of garlic. You can really decide how garlicky you want your sauce to be. If you mince or grate your garlic, you're going to get the strongest garlic flavor. And if you smash a whole clove of garlic, you'll get probably the most mild flavor. So I'm going to go in the middle and slice my garlic. And I'm going to chop some parsley for a garnish later. Parsley is a really classic pairing with chili-based dishes, especially like a spicy tomato sauce like this, but you can also use basil, which will give you a little bit softer, sweeter flavor. I have my 8-quart stock pot full of water. Pasta insert is in and it's coming up to a boil, so it's ready when I need it. This is a 5-quart saucier, and I'm going to start the oil and garlic in cold. And then I'm just gonna turn the heat to about medium. I'm starting it cold because I really wanna cook the garlic gently and slowly. I wanna get a nice color and I really want it to perfume the olive oil. And I definitely don't want it to burn because that'll make my sauce bitter. And since this is such a simple sauce, all of the steps are really important. I'm just waiting for the olive oil to barely come to a simmer and the garlic just to start sizzling. It'll become fragrant, and I'm looking for a light golden color. I love this 5-ply stainless saucier because it has nice even heating and really nice heat control, so I can make sure I don't burn the garlic. I can smell it, it's barely sizzling and it's becoming this light golden color. So I'm gonna add the crushed red pepper flakes. I also don't wanna overcook those. I just blooming them in the oil, waking up the spice a little bit to help it infuse the oil so it can make this nice and spicy. Tomatoes are going in, and these will help to halt the cooking process of the garlic and crushed red pepper flakes so that they don't get too dark. And I'm actually not gonna cook this tomato sauce for very long. These are nice quality tomatoes, and I want them to remain fresh and bright. I'm only gonna cook this about 8 minutes or so. The last 2 minutes will have the pasta in it to finish cooking. Just breaking up the big pieces with my wooden spoon, and I'm gonna season it with some salt. I'm gonna let this simmer and drop the pasta. Water is boiling. I'm gonna season it pretty heavily, and I put the salt in after the water has come to a boil so it doesn't hit the stainless steel pan. I'm working with a really cute pasta shape. The producer calls this macaroni, but it's not like elbow macaroni you would see in a mac and cheese box. It's really more like a slightly bent rigatoni. This pasta sauce is usually served with penne, but really any short tubular pasta will do, and this has nice ridges. It's gonna help the sauce really cling to it. I'm gonna drop my pasta and I'm gonna cook it about 2 minutes before al dente because I wanna finish cooking it in the sauce. All right, my sauce is looking good. I don't wanna over caramelize the tomatoes. I don't wanna make it too thick so that it won't properly coat the pasta. So now it's time for my secret ingredient. I'm gonna add a little bit of balsamic vinegar. You might have heard of the grandma trick of adding a pinch of sugar. This kind of does the same thing, but also adds a little bit of acidity. All right, pasta is going in the sauce. All right, the sauce is looking good. I'm gonna add just a little bit of pasta water. Since I used the pasta insert, I didn't have to worry about accidentally throwing out the pasta water, which as we all know is liquid gold. I'm gonna add a little bit to the pasta, which is going to loosen the sauce, but then the starch in the water will actually help to thicken it. Probably 1/4 to 1/2 cup. All right, and before I declare this finished, I need to taste it. The pasta's cooked perfectly. All right, now it's time to plate this up. The sauce really came together with the pasta water. It's clinging nicely to the ribs on the macaroni. I'm gonna finish this with a little bit of olive oil. I think it's nice to finish tomato sauces with butter or olive oil, which makes the sauce really silky. And I'm going to top it with some pecorino romano because this is a Roman dish. Know your cheese. You might want to taste it first. Some of them can be more mild and some can be sharper. Pecorino romano is a little saltier and sharper than Parmesan cheese. You could use Parmesan if you want, but I'm using the pecorino romano because it's traditional for this dish. This one is pretty salty, so I only need to use a little bit. And a little bit of parsley. All right, super quick and easy recipe. Let's see how it turned out. It's got a little kick. I like it. This sauce has some notes of sweetness. It has some acidity. It's still a little fresh because we didn't cook it for a really long time. The cheese is giving it another layer of saltiness and a little bit of funkiness. Parsley, nice, bright, fresh, green. This is really nice. You know, for not a lot of effort, this really paid off. This is a great basic tomato sauce. If you take the red pepper flakes out, you have marinara. But I think this spicy tomato sauce would be really nice for pizza, baked ziti. It's really a nice sauce to have in your arsenal. That was pasta arrabbiata. Spicy food makes me happy, not angry. I hope this makes you happy too. Give it a try. I'm Rhoda from MadeIN, and I'll see you next time.
Perfect. Got it. Well done.
Thank you.